You are watching No Filter with Debbie. These are my views and opinions. Welcome to No Filter with Debbie. I'm Debbie Schlussel. You know what's driving me crazy? The two girls who hijacked and murdered a man, hijacked him, carjacked him, and killed him. And it's not front page news, except on conservative media outlets. This should be a front page story on ABC, NBC, CBS. This should lead the newscast, but it isn't. And this is a tragedy. First, take a look at the video of what happened.
Call the police.
They're thieves.
What's going on? Call the cops. They're trying to steal his car.
This is my car.
Fix me to his car? He said it's his car. Yeah, he is their friend.
No, this is my car. The one.
Shut it! Oh my God! Somebody just stole it. She's stealing their car.
You're still in the car.
Yeah, we called the cops. Call the cops. Call the cops. It's been called. It's been called. It's been called. It's been called. They stole the car. These girls stole the car.
Hey, come out.
Hey, they stole the car. They stole the car. These girls.
Who else?
That's it.
Everybody's done. Everybody step back from the car. I'm going to need everybody to step back from the car. No. I need you to step back from the car. Everybody, I need you to step back from the scene.
I saw what happened.
Oh, no. I need everybody to step back. There's gas leaking.
Yeah, hey, back up.
So you heard that. Those two girls, one was 13 and one was 15, they knew what they were doing. They had a stun gun. They went into this car where this Uber Eats driver, and you can see his picture over my shoulder. His name is Mohammed Anwar. He came here from Pakistan 7 years ago. He is one of the immigrants we want. Now, I am against a lot of Muslim immigration, but this sounds like the kind of guy we would normally want. He's hardworking. He was driving Uber Eats. He was trying to provide for his family. He did nothing wrong there. He was hardworking, trying to hold on to his car, which probably cost him a lot of money. And that's all he had. And he's an Uber Eats driver. So we know he's not a multimillionaire. He's not a rich guy. This was his car. They came into the car, these girls, aged 13 and 15. They're young women. They knew what they were doing with a stun gun or a taser. And they stunned or tased him and tried to take over the car. And you saw he was holding on there to try and keep his car. And they floored the vehicle. They crashed into two other cars. And then you saw they capsized, they turned over. And he was murdered. He was killed in this. Both of those girls should do life, but they won't. And I'll tell you why in a second. But you saw that video. That girl does not care what happened to this man. Is he okay? I feel so bad. I'm remorseful. I shouldn't have done this. This was a huge mistake. No. My phone was in there. My phone. You saw what that girl did. Now, is this car an example of white privilege? Those two girls were black. He is from Pakistan. If this were the reverse, let's say this were a white pair of kids, a white pair of young women who had stun guns, who had tasers, and carjacked a black guy, and the black guy was killed, who was trying to hold on to his car. Don't you think this story would be at the top of the newscast, or even in the newscast of ABC, NBC, and CBS? You know that it would. But this guy does not matter to them. This guy doesn't matter, and also we can't make this a major news story because these two girls are black, and that doesn't fit with our narrative of white privilege. This does not fit with our narrative that white people have it all, that they are the aggressors, that black people are the victims. This does not fit with that. Those girls were not underprivileged. And if they were, how does this solve their problem? By murdering a man, stealing his car? And by the way, one of those girls, one of those young women who knew exactly what they were doing, and they knew exactly what the consequences could be, and it turned out were. They took this man's life, they robbed him from his family. Now, this is on GoFundMe. And his family has now raised, I think, almost $1 million, if not more. They were seeking 100,000. But think about it. Your dear father, your dear mother, your dear relative, your elderly relative, or your relative that's not elderly, he's middle aged, like this man. This man was probably in his 60s, I would say, late 50s, early to mid 60s. Would you rather have him or would you rather have $1 million? Maybe for those girls, they'd rather have the $1 million. But most people would rather have their loved one who was robbed from them by these girls. One of these girls is already being tried, or she's already been charged with carjacking somebody else 3 months ago. These are criminals. These girls will never get better. They will never be rehabilitated. I do believe in second chances and forgiveness, but not for something like this. They're murderers, and they won't do time that you or I would do for what they did. And I'll tell you why. They are not being tried as adults. What? Yes, they are not being tried as adults. Do you think if they were white, they would be tried as adults? I think they certainly would have. They would not have caught this break. This is Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, a majority black city. And everything is about race. They are race obsessed there, and everything is political. And when they are in the majority, which they are there is racism. There is racism in America. And there is plenty of it from the other side. There's plenty of black privilege, and this is it. That they are only going to be tried as juveniles, which you know what that means? That means that even if they get the maximum possible penalty under the juvenile laws in most states in the union, including the District of Columbia, they will only be in jail maximum till they're 21 years old. And then they'll get to live their lives. One of these girls is already 15. So she's got 5-6 years. And that's it. Time for taking a man's life, for doing this, and only caring about her phone. Yeah, her phone is important. That's so much more important than a man's life. By the way, these same people who don't care about this story are very concerned that Beyonce's storage unit was robbed of $1 million of merchandise. Yeah, that's what we need to be concerned about, but not this. So, Juan Williams on Fox News's The Five was interviewed he had his statement to make about these girls, and it is just reprehensible what he had to say. He never fails to be wrong and disgusting on an issue. Watch this.
This story get more coverage?
Gee, I can tell you, it's not that I would say it's top of the front page or top of mind for everybody in Washington, but people are talking about it, Jesse. I think in part what it is it's tragic. I mean, you got these teenage girls. I mean, they're little kids. They're not gangsters. They're not hardened criminals. I don't think they intended to kill anybody. They were looking for have a joyride. And it just went way wrong, way out of control, and ended up in a gross tragedy. I mean, this is unbelievable. Their lives are ruined.
Well, they brought a stun gun, so usually you don't bring a stun gun to a joyride, but go ahead.
I just think, correct. I mean, it's like, kids finding guns in their parents' house. I don't know what to say, Jesse. It's awful. It's a terrible situation. With regard to the mayor's tweet, again, look, I think that what we have seen in recent months is an increase in carjackings, car thefts in this area. And so for her to say, be cautious, I don't think that was the wrong note, as you suggest. Maybe you wanted to hear her condemn the kids. I don't know. But I think it's good for us all to be cautious as we see a rise in this kind of crime.
Well, okay. Tucker, what was your reaction when you saw the video? I was pretty stunned by it. I couldn't believe it.
Just a joyride. So you know what Juan Williams reminds me of? He reminds me of Ilhan Omar. He says, just a joyride. They were just out for a joyride. Remember her? how can you forget? She said 9/11 was just some people did something. She said that the massacre last week in Colorado at the King Soopers supermarket was just a guy had a bad day. And he says they're just out for a joyride. So I have a question for Juan Williams. Do you take a stun gun to just out for a joyride? Do you do that? Do people who are just out for a joyride have a history, as one of these young women does, of carjackings? No. This was not just out for a joyride. Is just out for a joyride something that ends like this? And when it ends with somebody dead, you're worried about my phone is in there? My phone is in there? Come on, Juan. Here's the problem with Juan Williams. He's wrong about everything. He supports Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic terrorists. He is to the left on every single issue. And by the way, there is a reason he was fired from the Washington Post and other employers, I think National Public Radio. He was accused of sexual harassment. And I'm not saying that accusations equal guilt, but I'm just telling you there's a lot wrong with Juan Williams, and it's incredibly arrogant to dismiss the murder of this man with a stun gun by these professional carjackers, I don't care what age they are, as just a joyride. And then he's worried about them. Their whole lives are ruined. No, they're not. As I just explained, they're not being tried as adults. We don't even know their names. I tried looking it up. Can you find their names? We will never find out who they are, so they won't have to live this down. And at age 21, this will be behind them, or sooner. This guy will never be brought back to life. His family will miss him forever. All right, when we come back, I want to show you a video of what is going on in the New York subway, and nobody did anything. This is frightening. And also some information about the FBI crime stats that they won't tell us. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Hi, Hunter Ellis here for Night Hero Binoculars by Atomic Beam. These binoculars let you see anything, even in pitch black darkness. Gotcha.
The secrets are powerful wide-angle atomic beam laser that reveals objects up to 150 yards away, hidden by darkness.
During the day, Night Hero gives you 10 times magnification. And when the sun goes down, press the Night Bright button to see clearly in the dark.
Light up garbage-eating critters or spot thieves before they even get close.
Call or click now and get Night Hero binoculars for just $39.99. Order right now and you can double it. Plus, get our best-selling Atomic Beam flashlight. Just pay a separate fee. We'll even ship them to you free. This TV special offer is not available on Amazon. You can get it all, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-619-1091. That's 1-800-619-1091. Or visit bynighthero.com. That's bynighthero.com. Order now.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity, selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@bechtel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467. Attention, have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Elmiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Elmiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Elmiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680. Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So before the break, we were talking about the carjacking in Washington, D.C. by the two young women who are criminals, who are murderers, who took this man's life, and how Juan Williams of Fox News, who is wrong on everything, dismissed this as, oh, just two girls out for a joyride. Yeah, they just happened to bring their stun gun. And when they murdered the guy, because he wouldn't get out of his own car, they crashed him, they murdered him, and they're worried about their cell phone. Not his life, but their cell phone. Just a joyride, though. Is that how you take a joyride? Not how I do. Not that I've ever done it, but my joyride is driving my own car. So anyway, take a look at my tweet about this. Yeah, so what's tragic beyond the two chicks, because, I have to use shorter words. They only give you a certain number of characters. Murder of this innocent, hardworking man is that they won't be tried as adults, so their lives won't be ruined, contrary to what Fox News Juan Williams claims. Can't say what the other words abbreviation stands for. They'll be free by age 21 or sooner, and their records will be sealed, names unknown. Exactly what I said. These girls will basically have impunity. This is a slap on the wrist. Anything that they will get is a slap on the wrist compared to what you or I would get if we did that, and compared to what you or I should get if we did that. These girls, young women, should be getting the maximum. They should be doing life in prison for this. This is not just a random mistake. As I said, they brought a stun gun. One of them has a history of doing this. Bet you if we look into the other one, she'll have a history of this as well. We need to know their names so that when they get out at age 21, we'll know who they are. People will know not to hire them for jobs, not to treat them with respect because they don't deserve it. They're murderers. They're killers. They are criminals. They're not going to change. Like I said, I believe in forgiveness if people are truly remorseful and they change, but I also believe in people are habitual, and I do believe that most people won't change. They don't want to. They are evil incarnate, and those young women are evil. What they did was evil. It wasn't just looking for joyride. It was sheer evil. All right, and speaking of evil, I want you to take a look at this video. I believe this is in the New York subway. What is most disturbing to me is all the onlookers who did nothing. Take a look. All right, so a little needed context for what's going on there. As you may have seen, that is an Asian man being beaten senseless by a black man. And you saw there were a lot of people, onlookers, Asian and black, who did nothing. Not one of them tried to stop this guy. Not one. I don't blame the Asians because, as we have seen in many of these videos, even though we're told that these are white supremacists, they're almost always black. And I'll tell you in a second what bothers me about the FBI crime statistics and what they won't tell us, which is very important to all of us. And I will tell you about that in a second. But on that video, all you could hear was one woman, I believe a black woman, telling that guy to stop. But she's the only one. I don't blame her for not getting involved. She's a woman. And I still do believe, contrary to the conventional wisdom, that women are not stronger than men. She couldn't have stopped him. But I think if a group of those men had tried to stop him, it would have stopped. But they didn't try and stop him. Instead, they were watching it like it was a professional boxing fight, and they had paid for tickets to be spectators. They did nothing. They did not lift a finger. And there is the proverbial story about Kitty Genovese, a woman that was attacked and raped in New York. And the story is that all her neighbors looked out the window, many of them did, and none of them called the police. That's actually a myth, because some people actually did call the police, but the police didn't get there in time and nothing happened. In this case, we know nobody did anything. You saw that on the video. Now, let me just tell you what this has to do with the FBI hate crime statistics. So the FBI hate crime statistics, they will tell you how many crimes in a year were reported by police were committed against Jews, against blacks, against whites that were hate crimes. And there are, by the way, there are a number of hate crimes against whites that are documented. They will never tell you the identities of the perpetrators. But we have seen so many videos online and social media of who is being attacked, what Asians are being attacked, and it's mostly not by white people. There are a few of those. Most of the perpetrators in these videos are black. Many of them are in urban settings like New York and other similar places, and most of them are black. Why won't the FBI tell us who these people are? I think we deserve to know what the racial, religious, and ethnic makeup is, not just of the victims, but of the perpetrators, and they won't tell us that. And I believe they don't want us to know this information because they're political. They don't want us to know that a lot of these hate crimes are committed by blacks against Asians. They don't want us to know that, for example, a lot of the hate crimes against Jews are committed by blacks and Muslims. They don't want us to know those things. They can be the only reason why they don't release those statistics. They have them. They have them just as much as they have them for the victims. But they won't let us know what those are. All right, when we come back, I want to show you the outrageousness of what the Oregon police did to a man who's being attacked by Antifa. It should make you very angry. It's made me angry. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Introducing the Cool Turtle, the ultra-comfortable mask enhancer that creates a protective, cool, and breathable space between your mask and your face. Simply slide under any mask or gaiter and immediately feel the refreshing pocket of air surrounding your face. Cool Turtle's ergonomically designed, soft, comfortable shell immediately reduces mask friction, allowing you to breathe and talk in a comfortable environment.
I can actually breathe. With the Cool Turtle, no more sweating.
It's like I don't even have a mask on.
Call now and get not one, not two, but 3 Cool Turtles for just $10. Order now and we'll send you 2 more Cool Turtles free. No fees, absolutely free. Plus, you can get a 10-pack of 4-ply face masks. Just pay a separate fee. This offer is not available on Amazon. Get the real Cool Turtle now.
Call 1-800-270-1219. That's 1-800-270-1219. Or visit getcoolturtle.com. Order now.
Beck News brings you real people and real news. Every weekday on KNDB, KNDM, and KRDK. Start your evening with the Dr. Duke Show at 4. Take a fresh look at current events with Ladies of Another View at 4:30. Go down the road with Joel at 5:30. Watch No Apologies with Becker at 9. Cap off your night with No Filter with Debbie at 10. Beck News. Real people, real news.
Indoor football is back in Bismarck. Bucks football season is right around the corner. Grab a friend or family member for a night of action-packed, hard-hitting entertainment. The Bucks open at the Bismarck Event Center May 8th as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. Catch the sweetest seats in the house right on the sidelines with VIP service at a Bucks turf table. Available now for single game purchases. Secure your tickets today by calling 701-595-0771. Bucks football, half the field and double the fun.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@bechtel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So I want you to take a look at this video because I find it very disturbing. This is a man in Oregon, and before you watch it, I'll just give you some context about what's going on. It may not be clear from the video. His car is being attacked by Antifa protesters. You will hear breaking glass in the video. They are attacking him. You will see yellow paint on his front windshield so that they poured on there so that he cannot see when he's driving. And he gets out and tries to protect himself, and you'll see what happens. Watch this video. All right, so at 10 p.m. and we have been for months, but I have defended police a lot. I support the police, but sometimes there are liberal, clueless police like the ones in Oregon right in that video. Because you saw those Antifa people, they put the yellow paint on that guy's car. They were spraying something at him over his truck. They were breaking the glass. You may not see it, but have seen it, but you could hear it in the video. He tries to defend himself against all these people. He has to pull out his gun because the police who are there are doing nothing to protect him or his truck. And what was his crime? His truck has American flags on it. Yeah, that's criminal. The horror of an American flag, how offensive. You would think it was a swastika, and even if it were a swastika, they would have no right to do that. We're a free country, or at least we used to be. We're supposed to have a First Amendment. We're supposed to be able to express ourselves without that happening, and the police should protect us from that happening. They did not protect this man, not at all. But when he pulled his gun out to try and defend himself, did nothing wrong, he's on the ground under arrest. This older guy who is harmless. That's the police in Oregon. So beware. Maybe that's a state you will not want to visit. All right, so there's that. Now, COVID, the big thing now, and I warned you months ago. I warned you when this show began in the summer. I warned you in the fall. We've been warning you throughout this show, even before there was a COVID vaccine. I said that when they have this vaccine, they're going to require you to carry papers. They're going to say, papers, please, papers, please. And I told you, my grandparents were Holocaust survivors. My mother was born in Bergen-Belsen camp. Most of both sides of my family were wiped out by the Nazis. And this statism bothers me. No, it's not the same as the Holocaust, but you know what? The Holocaust began with statism. And the more the government takes power, the more chances that something like that could happen here or anywhere. They never thought it could happen in Germany and the surrounding parts in Europe. We cannot let the government have this kind of control. As I've said to you, I believe in vaccines. I think they're an important public health solution, an important public health step that we have to take. But I don't believe in this vaccine because it was rushed. And I also believe that if you don't want to take it, and I have not taken it, that should not be criminal. We should still be able to hold jobs. Yes, private employers can do what they want, but the government is headed towards requiring us to have passports, vaccine passports, and this cannot stand. So first I want you to look at this European Union video. And this is, I warned you this was coming here. It's here. Watch this. All right, so you saw that video. That video is a lie. They're telling people there's no database, no information is released or shared. That's a lie. Because once you have to show that to the government, you're sharing information which shows you were vaccinated. And if you don't have one of those, that's other information that shows you were not. In addition to that, they're scanning stuff, which means they must have a database somewhere to verify. They said they're verifying these to make sure they're accurate, these certificates they're having people hold, these passports. How can they know that they're accurate and that they're real and that these people holding them really should possess them unless they have a database? They've got a database, and if you think they don't, you're fooling yourself. And the Nebraska legislature is considering a right to refuse COVID shots, and that would include a right not to have one of these COVID passports. And I support that. Listen, like I've said, I believe in the free market. If you're a private company, you should be able to do what you want and require your workers to have what you want them to have. But the government requiring this like the European Union does, that is on its way here. Joe Biden has talked about it. Pete Buttigieg has talked about it. We have had other officials in the Biden administration talk about it, which means they're very seriously considering it. That is terrible for America. It is also a violation of our constitutional rights to be able to be free and to move from state to state. That's part of the Constitution. That's part of the Bill of Rights. We won't have that if they're requiring these kinds of passports. When we come back, we'll show you what Kristi Noem had to say about it and why I don't believe her on this or anything. And also, Governor DeSantis has something to say about this. and why I think it's ridiculous everybody's up in arms over Holocaust comparisons. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money.
So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-699-0761. 1-800-699-0761.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
Beck Communications is hiring. Beck Communications is seeking qualified candidates for plant technicians in our Wheatland, North Dakota location. Beck Communications is an equal opportunity employer. To view the job details, visit www.beck.coop. To apply, email your cover letter and resume to careers@bechtel.coop. Beck Communications, making connections that matter.
So before the break, we were talking about the COVID passports. They're green, and they're sort of like environmental passports of some sort. The EU has them. We showed you the video. That is coming here. And a lot of companies and concert venues are going to require this. If you want to work at a company, if you want to go to a concert or a sporting event, this is going to be really Big Brother stuff. I'm telling you, we are headed towards a national database. This is not a good thing. I don't want the government knowing my medical information. It's none of their business. But that's what's going to happen. And everybody's going to have access to your medical information. That's where we are headed with this. Now, I said that the Nebraska legislature is considering a right to refuse the shot, and they want to outlaw these kinds of things, at least from public institutions like the federal government and so on in the state government. I think North Dakota's legislature would be very wise to consider that. Now, I want you to take a look at Governor Kristi Noem from South Dakota's tweet about this. All right, so she says that Joe Biden's proposing it. It's one of the most un-American ideas in our nation's history. We as Americans should oppose this oppression. I agree absolutely, but the problem with Kristi Noem is we just can't believe anything she says now, because for months she has been tweeting, in favor of the trans bill to make things equal for people of their own gender, not people pretending they're of another gender who want to compete against them in sports. For months, she said that she supported this. And then when it came down to it, she vetoed the bill when other Republican governors signed it. And Governor Burgum, by the way, on Joel Heitkamp's show, indicated that he won't sign it either, that he basically says we already have that law for K through 12. I'm not going to do this. You know what? They are two of a kind. They both pretend to be conservative, she more than he, and they're both basically liberal Democrats. And my friends from South Dakota tell me that Kristi Noem has basically been liberal on everything. She welcomed illegal alien refugees, in quotation marks, to South Dakota. She did a lot of other liberal things, and she's really not what she seems. She talks the talk, she don't walk the walk. She does not walk the walk. Just saying. All right, so that's Kristi Noem, and check out my tweet about that. So I'm kind of tired of Kristi Noem tweeting up a storm, trying to get us to forget that just last week she vetoed the trans sports bill when two other Republican governors signed it. You can't distract me, Rhino Christie. And if we have time to get to it later in the show, she actually tweeted about some other things to try and distract us. Like I said, she's all about marketing and PR, but when it comes down to it, she is not the real deal. So a person that is the real deal is Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida. I've said this before. I think when we look at him, we're looking at our next president. If he's not the next Republican nominee, they're crazy. He should be. Watch this.
I just wanted to make some comments. And I've said stuff previously, but we are not supporting doing any vaccine passports in the state of Florida. No one was more aggressive about getting this out. If you look at all the different points throughout Florida, whether it's a hospital, county health department, a retail pharmacy, a drive-through sites, church sites, all this stuff, it's important. But we always said we want to provide it for all, but mandate it for none. And that was something that while it was advised to take, particularly if you're vulnerable, we were not going to force you to do it. So there was never under discussion any mandates to take vaccines. We will not have COVID vaccines mandated in Florida. The flip side of that, though, with these vaccine passports is it's completely unacceptable for either the government or the private sector to impose upon you the requirement that you show proof of vaccine to just simply be able to participate in normal society. You want to go to a movie theater? Should you have to show that? No. You want to go to a game? No. You want to go to a theme park? No. So we're not supportive of that. I think it's something that people have certain freedoms and individual liberties to make decisions for themselves. I also wonder, it's like, okay, you're going to do this, and then what, give all this information to some big corporation? You want the fox to guard the hen house? I mean, give me a break. I think this is something that has huge privacy implications. It is not necessary to do. You know, we're going to have hit 3.5 million seniors that have gotten shots sometime this week, likely 75% of seniors. It's important to be able to do it. But at the same time, we are not going to have you provide proof of this just to be able to live your life normally. And I'm going to be taking some action in an executive function, emergency function here very shortly. But I just spoke with the speaker about it, and I'm telling Wilton publicly, so hopefully he agrees with me. But we need the legislature to come in and just say this is not happening in Florida.
Amen. Like I said, this guy has got to be the next president. He's got to be the Republican nominee. If they don't nominate him, they're nuts. This guy is the real deal. He walks the walk. And I would love to see, even though Governor Burgum has been quite a bit of a disappointment on COVID, I'd love to see him echo some of Ron DeSantis' comments. I would love to see the North Dakota legislature echo some of those comments in the form of legislation that they pass. We'll see if they do. Attention, Representative Koppelman, our favorite guy on this show, introduces all the best legislation, and then the North Dakota Senate messes it up like they did on his trans bill. Now, related to this, as I've said, My family, my grandparents were Holocaust survivors. Most of both sides of my family were wiped out by the Nazis. My mom was born in Bergen-Belsen camp. And so I think I'm extra sensitive to these kinds of issues. I don't like when the state has this kind of power. My grandfather always told me the Linkas, the leftists, they're the ones, they control the government, they take over your life, and this is how it leads to things like the Holocaust, which my grandfather thankfully survived. Thankfully. So a couple of people, more than a couple of people, have compared this to the Nazis, saying, papers, please. I've said something like it on this show. And they're getting condemned. And I find it disgusting that they're being condemned because they're not off base. And not because whenever the government gets this kind of authoritarian control, they usually are Nazi-like and anti-Semitic, and they do things like this. They throw people in camps. It's just the beginning. This is how they start. This is how the National Socialist Party, the Nazi Party, started. And also, all of these people that are up in arms about it, where were they when people were comparing Donald Trump to Hitler? I'll tell you where they were. They were making those comparisons. They're hypocrites. So take a look. This is the Libertarian Party of Kentucky. So everyone's up in arms, all the left, all over Twitter, because they said, are the vaccine passports going to be yellow, shaped like a star, sewn on our clothes? You know what? I'm not so offended by that. I'm not bothered by it. Libertarians are our friends. I don't agree with everything libertarians have to say, but they're absolutely right on this thing. This is outrageous, all right? And then there is Ambassador Richard Grenell. Take a look at this. He was the director of national intelligence. He was also the U.S. ambassador to Germany. And he said, speak up now, slippery slope. And says, you're hiding unvaccinated people under your floorboards, aren't you? And that's Christoph Waltz, who played the Nazi in Inglourious Bastards. And people are up in arms that he has a fictional Nazi. It's a fictional Nazi. He's an actor. In his tweets comparing it to the Nazis. And they're attacking him because he's on the board of the Holocaust Museum. Please, Rick Grenell is absolutely on target with this. Absolutely. Again, whenever the government has absolute power to do these kinds of things, they have absolute power to do more. You know the Alexis de Tocqueville quote. I think it's de Tocqueville. Power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. He's absolutely right. That's what happens. It's just the beginning. When the state takes over, and then they will go after Jews and handicapped people, disabled people, and other people. That's how it starts. I don't have any problem with that. What I think is interesting, again, is that these people, they made comparisons between Donald Trump and Hitler, which that, frankly, was a lot more outrageous. Donald Trump did not do anything like Hitler. He didn't round people up and put them in camps. He did nothing of the sort. He didn't have gas chambers. He didn't stop people from having businesses because they were Jewish. He didn't murder disabled people. He was pro-life, by the way. He didn't force abortions. Again, he was pro-life. It's disgusting, but nobody got worked up over that. They only get worked up when people who are libertarian or conservative make these comparisons that are a lot more on base and closer to reality than what they said. And before we go to the break, I just want to show you this one other person. So Joe Biden had this direct, well, you know what, we'll tell you after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck. Who did Joe Biden hire and what did that person do? We'll tell you. See you after these messages.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? After all, a visit to the dentist can easily cost $2,000 or more. Well, relax. The Carefree Dental Card is now available in your area. Call now and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree Dental Card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. Activate your card and you can start using it immediately. From exams and cleanings to more expensive procedures like crowns, dentures, even braces, they're all included with the Carefree Dental Card. Say you go to the dentist today without any card and your bill is, well, ouch. Wait a minute, let's try that again. You go to the dentist today and show your Carefree Dental Card, you save $525. The Carefree Dental Card is just $15.95 a month, so call now and make going to the dentist carefree.
Call 1-800-416-5739 to receive your Carefree Dental Card information kit. 1-800-416-5739. Call now.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity, selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@bechtel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
I can't say enough good things about these nano hearing aids.
Real people talking about nano hearing aids.
The hearing quality is great.
Until now, hearing aids used to be too expensive for the average person. Until nano. Call now and you'll get your nano hearing aids for only $297. You'll save $100. When you buy one hearing aid, Nano will give you a second hearing aid free. Call right now.
1-800-213-3815.
Who do you trust with your digital life? Not all cloud backup providers keep your data truly private. Beck Cloud Backup uses advanced multi-layer encryption to keep your family photos, videos, and sensitive business documents secure and only for your eyes. Your Beck Lightband Internet service already includes 50 gigs of free storage to keep your digital life safe and secure. Call us at 701-475-2361 to start using your Beck Cloud Backup today.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Elmiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Elmiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Elmiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So speaking of Trump and Hitler, which we mentioned before the break, how a lot of these liberals were engaging in that comparison. Nobody had a problem with it, but suddenly they're all outraged and clutching their pearls when people on the right and libertarians and centrists even have compared this statism of this COVID passport they want us to have to the beginning of the Nazis, which it has a lot of similarities. All right, so then there is somebody who did that, who compared Trump to Hitler. Nobody cared, and that is Richard Torres Estrada. So who is he? Well, he is the director of Diversity and Inclusion for the Special Operations Command, U.S. Special Operations Command. He's one of the top officials at the Pentagon for diversity and inclusion. And he tweeted out and in social media compared Trump to Hitler, which there is no comparison, not even close. It's disgusting. They would put the two people in the same sentence, or that he would do that. He also had an anti-police cartoon, and the FBI did not find this. Why? Because they don't care. This is famous but incompetent, the FBI's ability to background check. They don't do much. They did not catch this. You know who caught this? Conservatives. Conservatives caught this. They brought it out. And now this man has been reassigned within the Pentagon. Was he fired? Heck no. He's not a conservative. He's not doing the comparisons we told you about that everybody's up in arms about because they're conservative. He's a liberal, and he only compared Trump to Hitler, so he's allowed to do that. So all they're doing is for show reassigning him. He'll still collect big bucks, boku bucks from the Pentagon, courtesy of you, the taxpayer. All right, now, Senator Heidi Heitkamp over the weekend was on Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO. I used to be on Bill Maher's Politically Incorrect show, and she showed us why she's an ex-senator. Watch this.
I like this picture. Who was the woman in the Mandalorian? What did she do? She liked something?
She was a Nazi.
Oh, that's different,
Yeah.
right? I'm thinking of somebody else. Well, she's not a Nazi.
She's a white. She's
look at that. You say you're calling her in that.
She's called other people Nazis.
Right.
So she's the Nazi.
Okay, everyone's a Nazi now.
She does hang with white supremacists.
It's like a Mel Brooks.
She does? hangs with white
I suppose I'm now subject to defamation.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what your definition of white supremacist is. That also, the goalpost there changed a lot. Used to be a guy in a Klan hood who...
But I think we have to be really careful. There's two things the Republicans think they're going to get Biden on. Cancel culture and this whole Dr. Seuss stuff that's going on where they're reading Green Eggs and Ham, proving that some of these senators can actually read. And immigration. And so we can't ignore the fact that we got Donald Trump was in part because of political correctness. I mean, you did a whole show called
Right, and she's politically correct, and she just showed us why she's an ex-senator. First of all, she's one of the senators I'm not sure can read, because what she just said was, in fact, defamation of Gina Carano, who they were talking about, who is formerly of The Mandalorian. She was fired because she sent out tweets comparing what is going on now with the way they are silencing us, the way the state is silencing us, the way the tech giants are doing that, to what the Nazis did. And there are a lot of similarities to what happened to the Jews and how they were silenced and how conservatives and people who say things they don't like are silenced. So she doesn't know what she's talking about, and she should try reading for once, because she clearly didn't do any research. Gina Carano does not hang out with white supremacists. That's absurd. And this is what happens when you have a U.S. senator, a former U.S. senator, thankfully, who is more interested in being in the media and being a big star. She's been making the rounds, so she's got some good PR people, than she is with actually getting the facts right. And she also thinks, apparently, that they should ban Dr. Seuss books. So she is on the side of political correctness, but yet she says that's what brought us Donald Trump. Well, good. Let it bring us another. And hopefully the next one is Ron DeSantis. Remember, things are not always as they seem. See you tomorrow.